Hi, I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. We had a double Dugging, and I got to apologize because last week I didn't do this intro that I'm supposed to do that they tell me I have to do for every single person. Doug Beller was on last week, rock star guy. Known my dad for a million years. My dad's dead, but that's besides the point. But I used to know my dad before he died. My dad's dead now. And I missed out on doing that, so I'm really sorry. I know that you looked at me on Instagram and you saw that I was shooting Jolly Rancher jellies out of my nose, which is really exciting. I was with my little brother, Mackay. We were snowboarding this last week. And tonight, I have an old friend of mine named Doug Macy. We recorded down at PM Expo back in November 2018, and Doug owns Trust One Security. And back 10 months ago, when we started doing podcasts, nobody wanted to go on the show. Shit, now we got a lineup, and I got more people to interview than what I know to do with. And I've actually got some sponsors, and I got some Bell Media and Roger Media people looking at us and deciding what they want to do and if we're a real product and whether we can actually make this thing fly or not. But going back in 2018, in March, February, when I started doing this, and I sounded a bit crazy, go back to the very first 6 minutes I ever did, balloon. But Dougie, who's a friend of mine, said I would go on. He said, I'm glad to go on your show. And he took a risk doing it because in our industry, doing podcasts for the construction industry and property management industry is new and not normal. And the people around me know that I'm a little eccentric and crazy. So I had a really tough time convincing people to come on the air because they thought they'd be made fools of. Since then, we've had people like Steve Eichelson and Cheryl Gray. And we've talked to Mr. Ford, the Premier of Ontario, to come on the show. We're moving fast and furious now. But Dougie, Trust One Security, PM Expo 2018, sat with me and my favorite co-host, Kevin the Goat. And so I hope you enjoy the show. Thanks a lot for coming on, Doug. I appreciate it. I'll see you folks when I get back.
What are you saying? That's an extreme close-up. I'm supposed
Great
to have
lighting,
a FM.
I look great in this one.
I'm making sure.
You look fabulous.
That's not very nice. How's my profile?
And decorum is out the window. Hi, how are you?
I'm Doug Macy from Trust One
No, you're not.
Toilet Paper Corporation.
This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. We're down to PM Expo, third day. Doug Macy in the house.
Woohoo! What up?
Trust One Security, they got a booth at the end of the aisle, 1700.
NA.
In between 1700 and 1600, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Right at the end. We're opposite corners of each other. He came down here for a goat sandwich this morning, and it turned out there ain't no goat for Doug.
I brought the tzatziki,
Ain't
and
no
it's
goat
just
for
sitting there
Doug.
fermenting as we sit.
Ain't no goat for Doug.
You know what they're talking about at this trade show?
What are they talking about at this
The
trade show?
goat. The goat. Next year at this trade
Did you
show.
hear about the goat up there?
No, what? There's another goat?
Just you.
Touche. Okay, that's me licking my finger and going up
When
there.
you're up at your booth, the other end.
Everybody's talking about the goat. Everybody's talking about the goat. Next year at this trade show, there's going to be more livestock than anybody knows what to do with. There's petting dogs and livestock, and I got to decide whether or not I want to be right beside you, like my competition, or the guys.
We should have done that.
It would
have been so much fun.
Or I want to be right by.
Because you and I are super good salespeople, know how to interact with people and make relationships quickly. And if you and I were beside each other, it would actually be advantageous for both our businesses, all of our businesses.
Well, we should coordinate because I am definitely buying in next year. I've already made the decision. I like who I met today. I like the engagements and the friendly aptitude. And I'm growing my business. I have to continue to invest and pave the way in marketing.
This is your first show as Trust One?
Correct.
You've done the show before, though.
Correct.
And you did this show before working in another business with family.
Correct.
Can I ask, was there a psychological difference being here for yourself as Trust One in comparison to being here with your family and working for a firm?
So I was here under
psychological difference.
I was here under 3 different banners.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yes. When I returned back to work with my brother in 2002, we came out and were on the booth, and that was something else. And in the period of time between the time I sold my shares to my brother and then went out in the market and did IT, I worked for a company that was here, and it was definitely a psychological difference from working with big corporation and the necessity to make money. This is definitely, because it's my company and I've got everything on the risk and it's coming out of this pocket, absolutely.
You find you have to, on a psychological level, and you and I are part of the same entrepreneurial club. You almost, you're right. So you're selling because it's you're feeding your family not from your T4 slip anymore. You're feeding your family from the Trust One bank account, which is a totally different dynamic. And I find that as an entrepreneur, especially my first few years at Stadia Door and Glass, was that I had to curb my enthusiasm. Sorry, I had to curb my starvation and not let people see that I was starving.
Well, I'm not starving, Tim. I want to be clear.
Shit, I got to tell you, my first 5 years in business, we all made paychecks, but
you didn't.
Right, you did, because you're reinvesting it back into the wheel, and you're unsure that the business will be back tomorrow. And I think probably one of the biggest things you'll learn as an entrepreneur is that it isn't guaranteed. And by the way, when you're being on your own and you're an entrepreneur, going back to the workforce, say, I just get a job tomorrow, it doesn't work like that, because your resume is now scarred with entrepreneurship, and employers are fearful that you're not going to stick it out, or you're only there to take until you recover.
Or the manager saying, well, you know more about business than I do. You scared the hell out of me. So at the end of the day...
You're at a point of no return.
Right? Absolutely, I've always been that way. But most importantly, Tim, you come to the trade show, you say you want to buy into it, but you got to remember the most important thing, that guy out there wants value. He wants to make sure that you can give him value. So as long as you can get the messaging. So we spent months thinking about what is it that we do different than my competition. And by the way, I'm beside a major national player. I'm beside a large regional player. The major national player wants to be everything to everybody. The large player over there says he's complete security. The guy behind me sells everything off the shelf that anybody ever wants. And I'm sorry, I'm only interested in cameras, card access systems, alarm monitoring, and solving my clients' challenges. That's it. So if I can deliver that value and they hear it, they don't want to go to anybody else. They just want customer service.
Now, you use the word value, though, and you're not using the word cheap. And by the way, I think a lot of people misconstrued the Webster's definition of value and then cheap. And I think people think that's an thesaurus, and they can convert the two definitions back and forth to each other. Good value does not mean you're cheap. Cheap does not mean you're a good value.
Right.
Right? Do you know the only competitive differential I have to everybody else in the marketplace? The only one. You're going to like this too. And it's pretty simple. And I'm gonna say it, and then I'm going to explain how I took it to the next level. I answer my phone. In today's marketplace with Instagram, YouTube, text messaging, WhatsApp, email, the novelty of answering your phone, ironically 911, so just you look at essential services, 911 does not let you text an emergency. I want to be the 911 of my business. I want that live interaction. We're putting back in, which I really hate that I'm doing this, and we're only going to do it for 6 months and see how it goes. We're putting back in an automated receptionist at Byrne On Demand and Stadia. Because of the influx of phone calls, and we need to make sure that we stay competitive financially. I don't want to hire a receptionist. When you press
and
zero,
and also you have a diverse. Your offices are all over the place,
Yeah.
so you got to make sure the call tree gets to the right person. Succinct messaging, though. Succinct messaging is lost on people.
It's my voice doing the automated attendant, not somebody else's.
Work the script.
Work the script, and this is what you're going to like. You know, you can press 1 for sales, 2 for service, right? You press 0, guess who you get? Not you, you idiot. Tim Byrne, almost live. We're down at PM Expo, final day, last 15 minutes of the show. Doug Macy's here, and I fucked off on everybody.
Nice language. You kiss your mother with that mouth?
My mother tells me I'm really potty mouth, too.
Yeah,
sorry, so let me tell you who that was, just so I can explain to everybody why I screwed off. Hi, honey, Allie, my wife, a close friend of mine. 4 weeks ago, I called, and I'm gonna blurt it out, and he won't care that I did this. So 4 weeks ago, I called my therapist of 8 years, who I'm friends with now, same age. I called him to see if he could help me with something. He said, no problem, blah, blah, blah. Great. 1 week later, I called him and said, okay, so now I need your help this week. His name's Dave, and I said, no problem. Dave said, Dave, can I have help? And Dave said, I'd like to, but yesterday my son fell 24 feet off the roof of a building into the basement under the concrete and broke his spine in 5 places and can't feel anything from his neck now. And I'm going to cry now. So he's in Sunnybrook Hospital. Since then, Dave and I have these phone calls once a week so he can decompress and get the fuck out of Dodge in his head and let go. And that was him calling me, and he just said, I just need to get out of Dodge for 15 minutes with you. Can I blurt? And he needed to blurt. And I ran away from you guys, and I apologize, but...
No.
there's
You're doing wonderful things for people all the time, and that's okay. I'm glad that I'm a part of your world that you could share that with me. Thank you.
I just shared it with my mother, too.
Hi, guys.
And my wife. The only
This
people
guy
who
is
be
the
watching.
real deal. He's a solid citizen,
Stop that.
and I don't give a shit what people say about you. I believe you 100%. There are people who think this guy is on the wrong side of the table, and I think they're wrong.
Life balance is really important to me, so you need to make sure you have enough time for the people around you.
Absolutely.
Outside of your paycheck. Because you helped so long ago in the show, we were talking about that. Oh, so I had
I have a marketing idea I want to share with you about next
Danny
year.
editing this tape. So when I said when you press 0, when you get the auto attendant at Stadium Byrne Demand, who you get? You get me 24 hours around the clock, 7 days a week. You get the president of the corporation. So when you press 0, it goes right to my cell phone. So I am the 0 in my corporation. So the show had lots of traffic for you. You treated the show a lot different than you treated it when you were with another corporation.
I'm fully committed to it, and I sensed within me that need to execute, and I managed to, in that time, teach the other guys on my team what is important to me, and that becomes the brand. I wish that we were recording me the whole time, so they would have gotten those juicy nuggets.
Do you wish your son, or do you hope your son stays and works with you in a career?
No.
You're a liar.
No, I
Liar!
Okay, let me answer your question.
I love you, but your eyes alone,
We've gone and done this before. You're not going to let me finish, but I'll finish anyways.
Because your eyes alone tell me a different story, my friend.
I want to spend quality time with my son that isn't only about work. And I'm afraid that if we spent work time together, we wouldn't have relationship time.
No, the best part is sitting on a ski hill.
Talking business?
Yeah. It is the most nostalgic, romantic, bonding thing you could ever do is sit on a ski hill. And I snowboard with my kids, and they all work for me. And sitting on a ski hill, and sit there and shoot the shit about business for 5 minutes, while you throw a snowball at them.
Well, I'll tell you what I want for my son is to be what he wants to be.
Now,
and if he wants to be with me, I'm good. If he wants to be a teacher, I'm good. If he wants to flip burgers or work at Starbucks, fuck that. I paid $80,000 for a goddamn university degree. He better not end up there only. What's important to you? Did you accomplish your objective at this trade show? Because I'm batting cleanup here. We're done.
Are you cleaning up your own booth, or are the kids doing it?
I got guys doing that. But this is cleanup for you. I bat cleanup. I'm the last speaker you're going to have at this 3-day event.
You're the last speaker because you were the first. Listen, 10 months ago, right? Other than you and Anthony Vinzi and my daughter, nobody would come on the show.
Well, I'm honored to be a part of your team.
I have no idea why you put faith into any of my cockamamie ideas, but you and Anthony Vinzi put faith.
Not always. Not always. I've said no to you, and we had a little bit of but that was honest.
Not very often.
Not, because you're a creative guy. And when I was in the trough, you showed me the ramp. And I'm so ever and will ever be grateful for that. But at the same time,
you gave a donation to St. Michael's Hospital.
On behalf of you and this event, thank you.
And I apologize that I never got the emails because my emails being clunky. You didn't have to do that, and I love you for doing that, and it's very generous. My son passed away there in 2010. St. Michael's Hospital is a first responder hospital here in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada. It's where, in Toronto, awful to say, but it's where all the gunshots go. Sunnybrook or St. Mike's. Funny enough, you know what our overflow is for those two hospitals? Buffalo General.
Really?
Yeah, Buffalo General is the third hospital. The only reason I know that, my son was helivaced in, and they go odd and evens. So Sunnybrook, St. Mike's, Sunnybrook, St. Mike's, Sunnybrooks, and if both are overflowed with tragedy, Buffalo. Here's the kicker: when the OPP, the Ontario Provincial Police, our Mounties, your state troopers, when they call you to tell you have a problem, they literally can tell you have to drive to Buffalo. So from Toronto to Buffalo is what, 3 hours?
Yeah, can you imagine the speed you're going to be going to go see your loved one?
Right?
Oh, man.
Could you see being the parent having you told that you're not, your kids...
But maybe it's a skill set that they have.
What a brutal thing to do, though. Okay, so your son's not in a local hospital. Your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, they've been sent to Buffalo.
Tim, I can't buy this airtime. I can't buy this exposure. And
Well, what you pay to be here at the show?
net somewhere around $20,000, excluding the donation.
Right.
Net about 20. So I can't buy that.
And then how many people do you think you spoke to or heard you speak
Today?
Honestly, over the last 3 days.
Oh,
not the show, but
not today, not this, just the
over at the booth. How many people heard you?
Maybe I reached out to 150, 200 people.
There's a high likelihood when this is being aired right now, and it'll be aired again when they cut it up and edit and make it all pretty, right? There'll be a high likelihood you'll be between 5,000 and 10,000 people will have heard your voice sometime over the next 6 to 8 weeks. And we do it for free. It's part of my marketing promotion campaign. And
There's absolutely nothing wrong with you suggesting to your friends, Macy donated because he got access. Wouldn't it be nice if you could? And you could set up the Tim Byrne donation line. I mean,
Sure, why not, right?
Why not? It doesn't cost it. And by the way, Trust One didn't donate. Douglas Macy donated.
I know that. Sorry, my apologies. Doug Macy donated.
I own Trust One.
You're my friend, first and foremost.
Thank you.
No matter all the bullshit or ups and downs, lefts and rights, and I'll tell you, I'm a loyal guy, and I believe in loyalty, and I believe that you don't turn your back, and sometimes you got to turn the other cheek, and sometimes you got to turn completely the other way around. And everybody makes mistakes. God, I make so many mistakes. But everybody makes mistakes, but somebody's got to. When you fall, somebody, and I mean this to everybody, somebody's got to reach out and grab your hand.
Yep.
And I think you're a real asshole if you don't.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
I mean, that was a really rude thing to say, but and you're one of those guys that reaches out your hand.
Okay, big hugs.
Right.
So
this is Tim Byrne, almost live. Trust
5
One
seconds.
Security. You give me your phone number one more time.
416-346-3434.
We're going down and off the air now. I want to thank Quadrille, Avison Young. I want to thank Irem. I want to thank Cushman Wakefield, Trust One, Anthony Vinzi, Promain, Doug Beller, Dylan, Andy,
Alex
Byrne,
Kat.
Rockstar. Who else? Oh, Pinnacle Roofing, Sanji. I love Sanji. He's a rock star. Sanji was terrified to come on the show for the last year.
He looked like he was
but he was
pale.
I asked him a year ago the same way I asked you, and he went, no way. I'm not going on. And then I said, do you want to come on now that we're PMX? We went, okay. Girl in the middle of the ball. I want to thank my wife, Allie. She every morning tells me that I'm a rock star and go kill it and make it happen and don't worry about what other people think. PM Expo, the GOAT thing. So for everybody out here, here's my tips. And I said this to my staff, Dougie. I said, have 5 for your next trade show. Everybody have 5 opening lines you pre-memorized, so that you don't say, "Hi, I'm Doug Macy from Trust One. Can I have your business card?" You say something funny, whether it's about a goat or I'm on a podcast. So you have an interaction with somebody on an intimate, vulnerable level, and not a rude salesperson. You got 7,000 salespeople in here, so you need to be unique. You memorize your 5 opening lines. You also have to memorize your 5 exit strategies. The problem is some of these people, their legs are sore, their feet are sore. They see an opportunity to have a conversation stop, and you have to meet.
It is catch and release.
Right, it's catch and release. So you need to have 5 exit lines that are really entertaining. One of the ones I said to my team: tie your shoes. Breaks eye contact. So you break eye contact, you can move conversation. But you need to have 5 of those strategies to get out of a conversation as well as to get in.
Of the 200 people, 150 people I had good conversations with, there were 2 I could have used that on.
And then the third thing for everybody at a trade show, and then this is really hard for your corporations because most people don't want to reach outside the box. They don't want to become a hero. They do not want to shove their head over that foxhole. You got to do something different than everybody else. It's why Kevin the Goat was here. I want to thank Kevin from Copo Glass and Door. He inspired me to have a goat here. I love my brother, and it's those kind of things, those inspirations of creativity that make you different than your competitor.
Yep.
I had a good show. We had a good show. Byrne on Demand, thank you so much. Catherine, you had faith in me to do this. Michael Wigginton from Stadia, I appreciate it. Dougie,
Thanks, buddy.
we're going to lunch, eh? We're going to the BOMA lunch right now, the TCA,
Time to go eat.
TCA lunches right now.
Time to go eat.
We're shutting down. We are done.
I have a zit inside my nose. It's an inner zit, and I hate when you get inner zits. They're really awful, and it hurts. Do you like the black beard, folks? That's my wife. She made me dye it. All right, Doug Macy, you're a rock star. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Wherever you're watching this, can you do me a favor and subscribe and press the thumbs up or a like, and leave some comments around so I can figure out what kind of content you'd like to have on the show. So whether it's Facebook or Instagram, or whether you just caught me on LinkedIn, whether you're on Spotify, iTunes, Google Music, give me thumbs up, subscribe to my show, hang tight. We got a lot of good stuff coming up over 2019. Alex Byrne, you're a rock star. You've done a really good job this last 6 months and really pulled this thing together. We got a great crew out of Edmonton, Singapore, Pakistan. There's a whole bunch of people that we talk to through WhatsApp, and they're all rock stars and doing a great job with the artwork. If you want to profile your company, get a hold of me at 416-984-9045. You can come on the show. We can talk about your company, what it does, how it does it. And I'm going to promise you that you'll get more traffic than you ever saw before. Social media does work, and the construction industry is only, about a decade behind all the kids that are already doing it. I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. You be safe driving home on this Wednesday night. Take care.